Hello everybody, welcome to Duisburg, welcome to Germany, welcome to the final day of the 2023 ICF Canoe Sprint and Paracanoe World Champions. What a week we've had. It's been absolutely incredible. The racing we have witnessed here, well, I feel incredibly privileged to have been able to see it firsthand and incredibly privileged to be able to bring it to you this week. We have had world champions crowned. We have had Olympic quotas distributed, we've had Paralympic quotas distributed, and we've got more to come today. It is a perfect day for paddling. It's a little bit cooler, there's a little bit of a breeze about, but I don't think the athletes will be complaining too much at all. We have 11 finals coming your way, folks, including 3 Olympic disciplines, 3 Paralympic disciplines. We are here in Duisburg. It is a wonderful venue for Canoe Sprint and Paracanoe. And fun fact, folks, for you watching at home, and you can write this down and you can take it to the bank. Duisburg in Germany is the home of the world's biggest inland port. Not Germany's biggest inland port, not Europe's biggest inland port, but the world's biggest inland port. What do you think of that fun fact? Emma Wiggs, 2-time Paralympic athlete, multiple world champion. What do you think of that fun fact?
I love a fun fact on a Sunday morning, Ross, and I'm going to add that to my little book.
It's a good
I've been here 3 times and I did not know that.
Not many people do.
Yeah,
not many people do, and it's something that they don't advertise very much, but they are. Duisburg is the home of the world's biggest inland port. Great to have you here, Emma. Congratulations. Can I get that off the top? Congratulations on your performance this weekend. It's been absolutely fabulous, as always.
Thank you. Thank you. I love racing here. It's a fantastic course, and yeah, really pleased to have got the gold in the VAR and the silver in the kayak and done my job for the team. So excited to see some more incredible racing today.
Yeah, you certainly looked in good form, and what I'm most happy about is to hear that you are fully fit again. I think we saw that in the way that you raced. Now, as I mentioned, we've got a lot of racing coming up, Emma. We're going to start off with a couple of the Paracanoe races, and these are Paralympic races as well, so there are quotas on the line here, and we're going to kick off with the women's KL1.
Yeah, this is an interesting field. I think there's some real strength in the field. You've got Adina Muller, who was the gold medalist in Tokyo, lining up there. Then Brianna, who came 3rd in the World Champs last year. She's also got the quota spot for the VAR, so she's on good form. And then Marina, again, is really strong. It's going to be really close, I think, between those middle lanes of Muller, Hennessy, Mulhutzer and Volleman, I think. And then everyone else obviously fighting it out for those top 6 spaces.
Yeah, it's a really strong field, and just a really interesting rivalry building up between Marina Mazula from Ukraine and Adina Muller from Germany. Marina Mazula has not been beaten at a world championship level in this field for 4 years. She's going for her 5th world title, yeah. Emma Wiggs, which is that's Emma Wiggs' territory. That is Emma Wiggs' territory. The only big race that she has lost since she began in her career was the Paralympics, and that hurts her. It hurts her a lot. She told me the other day that she just so much wants to get to Paris next year and become a Paralympic champion. Adina Muller, well, she just beat her once, and it was in the biggest race of her life in Tokyo. But there are other athletes, as Emma said, to watch. Who's going to be the quickest out of the blocks here, do you think, Emma?
I think the Italian gets a really good start in lane 7. And I think Marina will go well out of lane 5 as well. So there we go.
So underway, and of course your very good friend Jeanette Chippington. We should mention Jeanette, of course. What an ambassador she's been for the sport.
She's just amazing, and my roommate, so I'm hoping that she's going to gun her way down that course.
And look at Mazula, she means business. She has flown out here, and there's already a boat length difference between her and the rest of the field. She is a very determined young lady. She was telling me during the week she's training in Ukraine again. She lives in a city where the bombs are falling regularly, and it's a real effort for her to train every day and feel safe. But she is cruising to the line. Adina Muller is trying to fight for 2nd, and it looks like Wollerman from Chile also, and Brianna Hennessy. But no doubt about the winner, Emma Wiggs. She is putting on a clinic here. She
is really strong, and through the finish, throughout the whole race, she's kept that stroke high and that real strong DPS.
Wollerman flying for the silver. Well done to
amazing finish.
Catherine Wollerman from Chile, and Hennessy getting the bronze, and it looks like Adina Muller missed out on a medal. And
I think Jeanette, just from a British point of view, I think Jeanette just got the 7th spot there, so hopefully that'll be the quota spot for the game. So a great race from the ladies in KL1, and again we've seen all of the classes develop, and yet again in the KL1 they're really stepping on.
And just I'll just go back to what I was saying about Marina Mazula. I mean, she has been, that is now world title number 5.
Yeah.
And Emma, you know what it takes to not only get to the top, but to stay. It's one thing to get to the top, but to actually stay there, it takes a lot of effort.
And I think that's, you know, where we're very lucky in Great Britain. We've got a phenomenal setup, and it's been really tough for the Ukrainian athletes to carry on their training through all of the difficulties in the last few years. So, you know, she's always smiley, she's always lovely to chat to. So I'm really pleased to see her deliver such a strong performance. I mean, look at that technique there, the real lock on the front, driving for the line. So, yeah, an incredible race, and I think she should be really positive going into next year.
One of the most attractive boats too. She's got a nice paint job on that boat, hasn't she? That is eye-catching.
Definitely stands out.
I don't know why more athletes don't do that. Is there a reason why?
I think in the past it's been quite difficult to get the para boats decorated, so that the manufacturers just give them to you as they are. You can get colours on them, but not such a lovely paint job as that one. So maybe I'll have to find her and ask where she got it done.
So she's coming in now to our celebration pontoon. Catherine Wollerman, as is her wont, she always goes for a swim afterwards.
Yeah, always has a little swim straight on the line. So, but it's nice to see, you know, really close race with Brianna getting the silver, and just lovely to see that field really developing.
So we're now going to hear from Marina Mazula. Congratulations, Marina.
Marina Mazula from Ukraine, world champion for the 5th time in a row. How does that feel?
Oh, amazing. Amazing, and weather beautiful, no wind, and I'm happy. I'm really happy.
And you just qualified for the Paris game, another Paralympic game. How are you going to prepare that?
Yes, I'm good prepared every day. We all time training now in Ukraine, in Dnipro, and it's not safe, but I love my Ukraine, and I love training in Ukraine.
Congratulations, Marina, 5-time world champion from Ukraine.
And very appreciative German crowd here. We know that the Germans have been very supportive of Ukraine throughout this war, and I'm sure that Marina Mazula's words there about how much she loves being in Ukraine and loves being Ukrainian, what that means for her. Now let's look here. It's the top 6 get the quotas, Emma. So
so the top 6 get the quotas, and then but Brianna Hennessy from Canada has already got the VL2, so I think it will go back to 7. But I'm not. You know, I'm not 100%
Don't quote us on that.
Don't quote us.
But at this stage, it looks like Ukraine, Chile, Canada possibly, although she already has a quota, Germany, China, Italy, and then possibly Jeanette Chippington from Great Britain with the quota. But we'll wait and see for that. There's a lot of machinations that go into it, isn't there, Emma? It just does my head in, makes my head spin.
I think it's not easy for you commentators to know what's going on, but
no.
That's, as far as I understand it, that's how it will work, but we'll keep everything crossed.
Wow. Check it. This is going to be one of the races of the week.
Absolutely.
You've done some research, Emma. Tell us what you've learned about this field.
So just a phenomenally strong field. I think that we've seen in the VL3 the standard just grow and grow and grow. And my analysis from the semi-final times, there's actually only 1.8 seconds, Ross, between every single athlete on that start line. So based on their semi-finals, this is going to be fast, furious, incredibly exciting. And to be honest, you know, I think the middle lanes will be fighting it out for the medals, but they could come from anywhere, literally anywhere.
Well, Curtis McGrath told me earlier on in the week that this is the race that he's going to have the most difficulty with, and this is the race that he thinks will be one of the hardest races he's had in his para-canoe career, which is saying something.
Yeah.
And you look at this field, of course, McGrath missed last year, and in his absence, Jack Ayres became world champion. Stuart Wood, of course, another of your training partners, won bronze at the Paralympics, so that's good form. We've got Epifanov, who's a silver medalist in the World Championships. Cherkazev, who's also a bronze medalist from the World Championships. And we just saw in the semi-final, Emma, the effort that Curtis McGrath won his semi-final, but he had to work hard, and he was working so hard that he almost came out of his lane.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about these boats, that today's there's not much wind, which is great, so hopefully it'll be down to just that power and speed, but they are difficult to control, so particularly when the fatigue hits, I think I showed that in my final, the steering can go off, so it's definitely going to be a tight race, and great to have two Britons in the race. Jack's had a wrist injury in May this year, so he's come back strong from that, which is great to see. And Stu's, obviously, we know he's talented, and he's got a huge chance as well. So it's going to be exciting.
This could be, and I'm saying this hand on my heart, this actually could be the race of the day. If not just the race of the day, this could be the race of the championships. To be honest, I cannot tell you, looking at this field now, who will win this race, because I don't know that Curtis McGrath can win this. I suspect that there's going to be a fight for the finish, and any one of the 9 athletes in this field could win, and we wouldn't bat an eyelid.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be definitely the race of the week, and just to have 1.8 seconds between all 9 competitors.
That's amazing.
I think unheard of, but I'll wait for someone at home to correct us on that. But I think the Ukrainian in lane 4 has been, probably looking at the evidence, showing the best form of the week.
Yeah, most certainly.
So let's see. I'm nervous.
Cherkazev from Uzbekistan is also just a phenomenally fast athlete. This is going to be something to behold. Strap yourselves in at home, folks, because this is going to be a real humdinger. I expect someone to end up in the wrong lane. That's how hard they're going to be going. They will be absolutely going hammer and tong here. We're underway in the men's VL3 final over 200 metres. There's Jack Ayres from Great Britain, the two British athletes next to each other. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. In the middle of the course, of course, the Paralympic champion Curtis McGrath. What a race, and we're already, as you can see, it is across the course. They are going nose to nose. Across in the outside lane, it's Stuart Wood who's got away the fastest. Wow, that's a good start, Emma.
He always comes out the bucket like that. He's just a phenomenally good starter. He's had a tough week, but he looks like he's really delivering it now, and he's on form.
So now the challenges are coming, though. Stuart Wood, your closest challenges from Jack Ayres, and across at the top of the course, it looks like Yepivanov from Ukraine. Ukraine just in front, I think. McGrath can't get to him. I think it's the Ukrainian Yepivanov who's going to hold on. Jack Ayres might get the silver, yes! Oh. And the bronze,
I can't call it. That was so close.
What a race from the man from Ukraine. Yepivanov, he timed that to perfection. Jack Ayres flew home. I think he got the silver.
I think he just got the silver. I had no idea about a third.
Bronze was tight between Stuart Wood, Curtis McGrath. There are 2 or 3 in there.
It's right in front of our eyes, and we can't tell. So this is so close. What a race.
It was an unbelievable finish. But the Ukrainian, no doubt about him, he's... So it looks here at this stage as Jack Ayres got the silver, which is a fantastic result considering the preparation he's had.
Yeah.
And Curtis McGrath from Australia got the bronze, but we'll just wait for official confirmation there. But Vladislav Yepivanov from Ukraine, silver medalist last year at the World Championships behind Jack Ayres. He's turned that around. They flipped that result.
Just such a powerful event, isn't it? And to see the power that the VL3 men managed to lay down in those boats is just incredible.
I'm looking forward to this race in the Paralympics already. You can see there Curtis McGrath, he was losing direction again. We're just having to work. Whoa, that is close. So no doubt about the winner. Great result there from Ayres, and pretty clear in the end, although, gee, it was close between Wood and...
Yeah, Stu was...
And the Uzbeki paddler, Cherkazev, but Curtis McGrath having to settle for the bronze. He doesn't get beaten very often, but he was always wary of this race. He just knows how good. And there we have confirmation there. Look at that between the field. Just Peter Cowan from New Zealand.
I think he struggled a bit with his steering, but again, look at that, between 1 to 8, 1.85 seconds is just unbelievable.
Amazing. So,
do I get a prize for calling that winner?
I think you do. I think you most certainly do. We'll hear from our winner in just a moment, and then I'll give you the breakdown of how I see it in terms of where the quotas might go. Again, there are a couple of... Curtis McGrath already has a quota, so I'm not sure how that will affect
and Great Britain don't get 2, so
that's correct.
Yeah.
So, but let's hear from our gold medalist and our world champion, Epifanov Vladislav.
Vladislav Epifanov, the new world champion in VAR, the fastest VAR today. How you feel?
I am very happy. This is my first gold medal World Championships. I'm very, very happy. Також хочу подякувати нашим Збройним силам України за можливість представляти нашу Україну тут, сьогодні і зараз.
You had the world champion 2022 against you, the Olympic champion, but you put a strong finish. How did you do that?
Далі буде ще сильніше. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ukraine, world champion.
Well, a great start for the Ukrainians. They've taken the first 2 gold medals of the day. And Emma, it's a great result because ever since Paracanoe sort of became a sport, developed, they've been one of the true regulars on the circuit. They've had some fantastic athletes. They've regularly won at all levels of competition, and just great to see them picking up 2 gold medals today.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always chuffed to see them on the start lines, and they've done so well with what they've had to work with to get here, and to still be producing medalists is just brilliant. And they're all it's lovely to see them on the podium.
So I'll just quickly, before we go to the next race, go through what I see as the top 6 here. So Ukraine, Great Britain, Australia possibly, I'm not sure, but if Curtis McGrath already has a quota, Uzbekistan, Argentina and Spain.
Yeah.
Possibly France, but we need to just wait.
So I think Curtis will get given it. I think you get the VAR one rather than the kayak. So Curtis will take the VAR and then go back. So we'll see what happens.
So now we move on.
Exhausting.
It is exhausting. We're only 2 races in. We've still got 9 to go. This is the women's KL3. Now, we talk about rivalries in sport, and the rivalry between this young lady, Laura Sugar, who is the Paralympic and world champion, and next to her, the young lady from France, Nelia Barbosa, and also the German, Felicia Lebera. The 3 of them have just fought it out for the last couple of years. It's been incredible.
Yeah, I think there was 0.5 seconds between those 3 in Halifax at the World Champs last year, and then 0.6 between them again at the Szeged World Cup earlier this year. So, yeah, it's incredibly tight. It's a really difficult one to call again. And again, the standards setting up. You know, Laura Sugar set a new world-leading time, 45 seconds in the heat. So, you know, it's incredible to see how Paracanoe has just stepped on and on and on every year.
And we should mention, we just saw Hope Gordon on the screen. Some suggested that she was playing the recorder, but she was very upset with that suggestion.
She was. It's actually the bagpipes. So on her green screen video, it is absolutely the bagpipes, not the recorder.
She hates the recorder.
She hates the recorder, and she is known to listen to bagpipe music as her warm-up music for racing. And sometimes she even puts it on in the gym, so we have to moderate that sometimes.
You've got to have.
She's on a good place, and she's obviously
maybe if it was like Mull of Kintyre, that's acceptable. But otherwise, I don't know if it's good warm-up music. I don't know if it's good music for the gym. But
I never knew there was such a range of bagpipe music, to be honest.
I don't think there is. But anyway, this is the women's KL3. As I mentioned, Laura Sugar from Great Britain, Emma's training partner, team. She's been a great addition to the team, hasn't she, Laura? And to see her winning that Paralympic gold medal was just fantastic.
Yeah, another great example of a transition athlete coming from athletics into Paracanoe and just really embracing everything that it takes to do this sport on the world stage is you know, what she's been able to develop and do as part of our team. So
there she is, the bagpipe-loving Hope Gordon. Already has a gold medal here this week, her first world title. That will fill her with confidence, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But what we've seen in this event is Sugar, Barbosa and Lebera from Germany. They're basically at every major event for the last couple of years, they've filled the top 3 placings. And Felicia Lebera, who will have the home crowd here behind her, she's got a whole cupboard full of bronze medals.
Yeah, she won the Europeans a few weeks ago,
yes.
But Sugar and Barbosa weren't there. So this will be tight, and I think Hope's in with a shout as well. So again, it'll be a tight race, I think, like the VL3 men.
So it hasn't been a great week for the French in the sprint or the Paracanoe. They would love dearly to pick up a gold medal today, I'm sure, or a medal of any colour. I'm sure they'd be very, very excited about. But we're about to get underway. Keep your eyes on lanes 4 and 5. That is the French paddler Barbosa and Laura Sugar, the defending champion. And straight out of the blocks, it's Nelia Barbosa and Laura Sugar. They're already going at it.
Just an amazing start. They're both strong starters, and they've certainly done that today. Really powering down the lane, locking that blade. Laura pulling away, which is unbelievable.
Check this out, folks.
Could be another world-leading time.
You did say, Emma, that she was in the best form of her life coming into this, and look at that. She is great effort here from Libera from Germany. She's challenging Barbosa for the silver. She's never beaten her, so this will be a big effort for her, but no doubt about the winner. Laura Sugar is cruising to the gold medal. It's a good fight for second. Sugar, I think, gold. Barbosa silver, and Libera third again.
Wow, what a race. What a delivery from Laura. She gets so nervous before racing that I think she'd be worried if she wasn't nervous. So I said to her at breakfast, you know, just use the nerves and deliver. And she's done that again for the team. And again, a strong race from Hope and a strong race from all the other lanes to make that tight for the bronze and the silver.
And you can hear now, we always get the German song playing whenever they win a medal, and you might be able to hear it in the background.
So it's the same podium again.
It's the same podium every time. There's never a change. There is a certain amount of consistency about the women's KL3, but it is Sugar first. Not a lot of distance between Barbosa and Libera. That is, well, less than a second. It's, 0.1 of a second, really, between them. So Sugar first, Barbosa second, Libera third. Hope Gordon should be pretty happy with that fourth, I think, Emma.
I think so, yeah. And I think Laura's time 45.4. I think it's almost exactly the same as her one in her heat. So nice to see that consistency. I think Hope will be happy with that. I think it was a strong race. Just the technique. I love watching the technique, Ross. The way that they just lock the blade and just power the way through. Really, really good. Look at that.
Look at that camaraderie there between these three paddlers who have been paddling against each other for... And I mentioned, Emma, as the first day of broadcast, that there does seem to be, within the Paralympic community, this really special bond between all the athletes, because you've all come from different backgrounds, but you come together here as a celebration, and there just seems to be this great bond between all the athletes. I
think, you know, it happens in parasport a lot, I think, but I think particularly in this para-canoe community, it just seems really special that, you know, we race like really fierce competitors, but there's a real love and support for everybody across the thing, and it's just amazing to see how this sport has stepped on.
So just as Laura makes her way, I'll just run through the countries in the top 6. Great Britain, France, Germany, Hungary, Spain and Poland. But again, there's all sorts of machinations that go into that, but they are top 6 in terms of quotas. Let's hear from Laura Sugar, our defending and new world champion.
Laura Sugar from Great Britain, world champion and defeated since Tokyo. Are you already in Paris in your mind?
A little bit, but one step at a time. The main job for all our team is to try and get as many spots as possible for Paris next year. So I'm really happy to do that, have that ticked off, and yeah, really happy with my performance.
Your performance was strong since the beginning. Did you plan to do it like that?
Well, you always plan to try and go fast, but yeah, I think this year, the second half of the year, everyone has ups and downs, but the last few months have put a really good block of training together, and it's my first year with our new coach Hannah, and yeah, it's just started to click the last few months, and I know I've been doing quick times in training, but it's different when it's out there, so really happy to get the job done.
All right, congratulations, Laura Sugar, world champion.
Very excited fan there.
Very excited fan.
Good to see young fans here. I've got to say, and I know from an athlete's perspective, Emma, you've been loving the crowd that's been here. It's just so good coming to a venue in a city where they are so passionate about the sport.
They certainly love it here, and I think having been here in previous years, there's always a crowd that's knowledgeable and passionate and cheering everybody on. So it's great to be able to have some British flags in the crowd and to just hear the noise is just fantastic.
So now we move over to the canoe sprint races, and our very first race is going to be the women's K1 200, where we are going to see, I think it's fair to say, the greatest female athlete if not of all time, certainly in the modern generation, but she can lay claim, I think. In this event, let me tell you, in this event, I don't think there's any doubt at all. She's basically unbeaten for more than a decade.
Just phenomenal. And she's, I don't want to sound too starstruck, but she's probably my hero.
She's probably my hero too. And I'd never tell her that to her face, but...
I get completely lost when I see her up close in the boat bays, and it's just, yeah, totally starstruck. Just a phenomenal athlete, and really putting women's sport out there in terms of her strength and her physique and her deliveries. Just, she almost makes it look easy, Ross. It's unbelievable.
She does, and that's the thing.
And it's definitely not easy.
We're talking, of course, about Lisa Carrington from New Zealand. She is already an 8-time world champion in the K1 200. She won gold at the last 3 Olympics in the 200. She's very disappointed, as we all are, by the way, that the 200 isn't going to be on the program in Paris. But, I mean, this has been her event now. As I mentioned, she hasn't been beaten since before the London Olympics over 200 metres, which is just a phenomenal record to have. And she told me this is her favourite event. She loves it more than the 500. And we just know that it means a lot to her. And she's already won 2 gold medals this weekend in the 500 and in the K4. And she will love, I'm sure, to finish off with another gold. Those racing alongside her, well, they're going to have their work cut out, but we've got Mengdi Yin from China. Toshka Pashara was good in the semi-finals. Yao Stenterprise from Australia is fast. Dominika Puto is part of the Polish K4. Of course, Esti Oliver, who was sitting where you're sitting a couple of days ago in the commentary box, Emma, so she's hoping a bit of the Emma Weeks magic might rub off on her, maybe. And I mentioned up in the, we didn't get her at the early in lane 2 from Slovenia. Spela Ponomarenko-Janic has been around for a long time and is a very, very fast paddler. So I hate to say, but they're probably all racing for 2nd and 3rd. She's a very exciting young paddler, by the way, Georgieva. She won medals at the juniors this year and under 23. She's very fast out of Bulgaria, and it's great to see the Bulgarians having some good, strong sprint athletes again. But let's just enjoy the athlete that is Lisa Carrington, because as Emma mentioned, she's a hero to all of us. She's done a lot for our sport, and I'm sure she just desperately wants to hold on to her unbeaten record in this event.
Absolutely, and I just love seeing the focus, Ross, on all of the faces of all the athletes in these last few seconds before you're coming into the bucket. You're just trying to control your breathing. You're just trying to keep your focus on the end of the course. And this is why the 200 is such an incredible event, because it's literally in front of you, A to B, and it's just going to be explosive. So
we just saw the Canadian next to her, Toshka Pashara was 9 years old when Lisa Carrington won her first Olympic gold medal.
Wow.
9 years old, and now she's sitting alongside her, racing against her.
That's real legend status.
What a dream for the young Canadian. But we're underway. They're going to be over pretty quickly. Let's look in the middle of the field. Already you can see the black boat of Lisa Carrington. She has flown out of the starting blocks. No mucking around here. The Canadian is going strongly, as is in lane 6 from Australia, Yale Stenterprise. Could it be an Oceania 1-2? That would be something to write home about for the fans from Oceania. There's Lisa Carrington in front, no doubt about her. She's put daylight between herself and the rest of the field. Lisa Carrington, she looks like she might almost be slowing down, but Lisa Carrington will get gold. Stenterprise will get the silver. Third to, I think it was Puto from Poland. Possibly.
What a race. It just blows my mind to see how she makes it almost look easy, almost like she's doing a tech paddle.
Yeah,
and yet the power and the acceleration is just immense. She's a real icon. Wow, what a race!
Absolutely.
Great race from Australia.
Well, yeah, great race for Yale Stenterprise, member of the K4 for Australia, of course. She's already had a great thrill this week, helping to qualify that boat for Paris. But look at Lisa Carrington. There's no quotas or anything on the line here, but all there is a 9th world title and a continuation of this incredible record that has seen her unbeaten since before the London Olympics over 200 metres, which, you know, in any sport, to be at the top for more than a decade and never to have been beaten in a senior international race. I just think that's just unbelievable. You know, I think when you think about the hours that you have to put into the training, and particularly in our sport, particularly over 200 metres, you're really talking about one stroke sometimes between
maybe a medal and no medal. So to be able to, for her to have that consistency of delivery, I mean, look at that technique. Such power, such rotation. And to do it, like you say, for over a decade is just mind-blowing. She's still my hero.
And mine. So there is Lisa Carrington crossing first. Steiner Price second, and I think Puto from Poland got the third. Good race for her as well.
Good time as well.
Very good time. So let's look down here. It's confirmation now. New Zealand first, Australia second, Poland third. The young girl from Canada finishing fourth, Bashara, youngest athlete in the field. With that, and she finished fourth. But listen to the warm round of applause for this legend of the sport. Everyone appreciates a legend. And Lisa Carrington, sure, well, she's not one to celebrate wildly, I don't think, but she will be very happy with her performance this week. Let's have a listen to our world champion, Lisa Carrington from New Zealand.
Lisa Carrington, third gold medal of this week. What a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an awesome week being out on the water, and it's really cool to finish the weekend with the 200, so yeah.
We've seen you in different boats, different distance. Do you have a preference?
No, I mean, every race is pretty cool, and I think I just keep coming back to our K4 on Friday, so that was wicked, and the K1 500 yesterday was awesome, and I mean, today was just so good to be able to get out there and just go hard as I can, and yeah, it was fun.
With 3 gold medals, you're sending a strong message for Paris. In your mind, are you already in Paris?
I'll be there tomorrow, but yeah, I mean, we've still got one more year, and hopefully just keep building on what we've done this week. So yeah, hopefully it's we just keep progressing.
All right, congratulations, 3-time world champion, Lisa Carrington.
An incredible performance. And for those at home wondering why she's not doing the K2, which of course is also the boat in which she won a gold medal in Tokyo, it's all about getting those quotas for Paris. So because Lisa was in the K4, she can't then get a quota in the K2. So they've got don't worry, they've got a very strong boat in the K2. They've got a former world champion in Amy Fisher, and they've got an ocean racing world champion who's come together, and they are paddling very fast, and we'll see that race later on this morning.
Good problem to have.
It's a very good problem to have, but Emma, that's what it's all about, and we heard Laura say the same thing. This week it is a World Championships, and everybody wants to become a world champion. But in the back, or maybe in the front of everyone's mind, and I think you said it in one of your interviews, getting that quota for Paris is from most of the athletes here, the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was certainly from our team's perspective, from Great Britain, our main focus was to try and get those spots. It's really, there's a second round, so we can always do it the second round as well, but great to see those nations delivering those runs and securing those spots for Paris, and then the hard work starts again in a few weeks.
Yes, and Lisa mentioned there that she'll be in Paris tomorrow, so there will be a World Cup event this week coming up. Virtually no rest days for our athletes, including you, Emma Weeks.
Yeah, we go tomorrow morning and we race on Wednesday and Thursday, I think. So
it is a World Cup, but more importantly, it's a test event for the athletes to test out the venue for the Paralympics next year. Have you paddled on the course yet?
Not yet. I'm really excited to get on there, and I'm actually going to use the competition as a real chance to just paddle as much as I can, so almost race tired, but just because I've been trying to train and paddle. And I think that's something that we could all learn from Lisa. She just said there, she raced an A final Friday, an A final Saturday, and an A final today. That's, take it from me, that's an incredible way to back up deliveries, because I found it hard to raise yourself day after day. So another string to her bow is that ability to deliver again and again at that level.
And just tell me, Emma, so you get the opportunity this week to paddle on the course, which is going to be the Paralympic course next year. What are some of the things as an athlete that you will be looking for and looking to learn this week on the water in Paris?
So I think in my VAR, I'm very much looking at the wind patterns, looking at how the wind affects the course, maybe looking to see whether if it's a windy day or a wavy day where there's some shelter to do some flatter flatter work, particularly for KL1s, KL2s, stability is an issue. So we'll be looking for sheltered bits of the water where we can make sure that we're prepped and ready to go for the start line. So it's really a confidence-building step.
And getting a feel for any currents that might exist.
Yeah, just any way that the wind might affect the course and how that might change during the day even, because quite often morning is different to the afternoon, different to the evening. So it's really just a learning experience for us, and really hoping that if we were lucky enough to go there next year at the Games, it's not our first time there.
Yeah.
Really important.
Having already been on the water, I'm sure there'll be training opportunities before there, but to get out there in a race condition is incredibly important. Now, we're looking now for the C1 Women's 500. Again, this is not an Olympic event. Ludmila Luzan is the defending world champion, and I have to say, I'm sure she's probably a little bit disappointed with the performance this week. It's been a bit of a struggle for her. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. I'm not sure, I haven't seen the breakdown, but as of last night, I think they were struggling for quotas for Ukraine, which would be quite incredible considering the dominance or the role that Ludmila Luzan has played over the years, recent years, since women's canoeing came to the forefront. Katie Vincent, of course, well, we all know what a legend she is of female canoe paddling. She will be very, very determined to win a world title here. The young lady from Kazakhstan, I talked her up yesterday in the 1000, and she went out like shot out of a cannon. She fell over it. Well, she didn't fall over, but she basically ran out of puff with 250 metres to go. I'll be interested to see how she goes. She's only 18 years old. Next to her, Maria Corbera from Spain. She is the European silver medalist. Maria Maillard, she is a World Championship bronze medalist. So it's a quality, and Vera Bala, who's been there since the start. And she was in Tokyo as well, and has been one of the pioneers of women's canoeing. And in the outside lane, Magda Stani from Poland. So it's a class field. There's a lot of very, very good athletes here. I mentioned Ludmila Luzan. She's the defending world champion. She also won the European title this year, the C1 500. But the way she's paddling, can she string it together here? I know that Katie Vincent would love to. I saw it that she was looking incredibly relaxed at breakfast this morning, Katie Vincent, joking around, trying to steal Alyssa Ball's cornflakes. I mean, that's the sort of shenanigans.
That's pretty relaxed, hey?
That's the sort of shenanigans that people get up to, athletes on the morning of a competition. So let's watch Katie Vincent lane 4, the youngster, 18-year-old Brovkova from Kazakhstan. She's exciting. I'm super excited about where she's going to be in the next 4 years.
Someone missing in lane 3.
Lane 3 is missing. That is Luzan is missing. So Ludmila Luzan has not started. That's
very unusual.
Well, it's been all that time talking her up and she's not there. So late scratching is Ludmila Luzan. So that throws it wide open now for Katie Vincent too, and she's straight away gone out fast. So I expect the challenge to come from Corbera and Maillard. And you can see there, Maria Maillard, she's already won a gold medal this week, so she'll be chock-a-block full of confidence as well in this race. And Maria Corbera, the European silver medalist. So a good field still, even with Ludmila Luzan late scratching, but it's Katie Vincent who's gone out the hardest.
Such a whole body exercise, isn't it? Such a complete form of paddling. I look at the guys training back home in these boats, and I just can't work out how they even stay upright, let alone paddle it.
It's got me beat, because it's hard enough for me to sit in a kayak, let alone to sit in a canoe. It's just amazing. And Katie Vincent's done a lot of 5,000 metre races as well. As has Maria Maillard, by the way. So they're both very, very effective long distance paddlers. And I can tell you, 500 metres in a canoe is a decent slog. As we come down now, we're heading down towards the grandstand, and this is developing into an interesting race between the Canadian, the Chilean, and the Spaniard there. You can see the top of the course is Vincent. Closest to us is Maillard, and coming through in the middle is Corbera from Spain. So it's Katie Vincent. She's been in the front since the start. Maillard from Chile trying to get to her, and Corbera, the Spaniard, is also putting up a little bit of a fight. But it's Katie Vincent from Canada, At this stage, she has a pretty good lead with about 100 metres to go. It's Katie Vincent from Canada. Now Corbera is flying home from Spain. She's the danger. Corbera from Spain is flying over the top of Maillard. I don't think she's going to get to Vincent, though. A good race for second. Vincent first. Corbera gets the silver, and Maillard gets the bronze.
Wow, what a race. I mean, as a 200-metre paddler, the thought of doing 500 makes me feel a bit sick. So the fact that they've just sustained that rhythm and that tempo consistently over 500 metres, and then to have anything left for that spurt at the end by Corbera was just incredible.
Really, really great result there for Katie Vincent. She was a very emotional world champion in Copenhagen the year after the Olympics. Had a great World Championships last year in Halifax in Canada, and now she's come out today and she's got another world title, the women's C1 500. Really good race there from Corbera from Spain. Really finished strongly, overrunning Maillard from Chile in the final 50 metres. And then I think Brovkova from Kazakhstan possibly coming home from fourth, but it really was a race between the top three. Yes, Brovkova fourth, Balag fifth. So
I always wonder whether it's easier to chase or to be chased. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you quite often see someone coming through like that at the end because they've got the person in their sights.
Yes. See, you would never know, Emma Weeks, because you're just out in front. You don't know. You have no idea what is going on behind you. All you know is that you're in front, and whatever's happening behind you, you don't care. That's up to them. They can sort that out for themselves. Although, having said that, you've seen the back. Well, hang on. We'll hear from Katie Vincent now, the world champion from Canada.
Katie Vincent from Canada, new world champion in C1 500. I think it's a new distance, new goal for you.
Yeah, I like racing the 500, so I'm glad I got to represent Canada today in the race.
I heard you got injured recently and you had a great comeback. How did you pull it off?
Yeah, so 14 weeks ago I broke two bones in my arm riding in Canada. So yeah, we had a bit of couple question marks a few months ago, but we just kept staying fit, staying healthy, and yeah, we're happy to be performing this week.
And congratulations, you world champion, Katie Vincent from Canada.
Yeah, I have to say, Emma Weeks, and by the way, Emma Weeks is my commentator here. I hope you've been enjoying her incredible insights into our sport. My name's Ross Solly. It is a great thrill to bring you this event today. You elite athletes, Emma Weeks, I mean, you have these injuries that for mere mortals like myself and others, it would take us years to get over. Like, you had this wrist injury. I remember when you had it, and it was I know how much pain you were in trying to paddle, but you powered on through it. And I used to watch you, and I used to think, my goodness, you know, I would be lying in bed for years, just waiting and refusing to pick. I mean, elite athletes, their bodies are so finely tuned that they have this ability to get over injuries that others would struggle with, and you've done it. We just heard Katie Vincent talking about breaking 2 bones in her arm.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? A few weeks ago, and then the same with Jack Ayres. You know, broke some bones in his wrist earlier in this year. I think, you know, we're very lucky to have the medical support that we have around us, which obviously means, you know, we can have access to physios and rehab every single day, and they know how to keep the other bits of us moving.
Yeah.
A bit more of a struggle in the para world when you've got limited bits to start with, but Katie Vincent, what a great example of coming back from a really significant injury in a sport that clearly uses your arms.
Yeah.
So she's done really well to stay fit and to find other ways of training. So yeah, I think, not sure we're mere mortals, but I think we just, you know, we're lucky to have the support around and the different ways of doing things, I think.
Nevin Harrison from the United States, she's been struggling with a back injury, and she was telling me the other day she didn't get in the water once for the whole month of July. And what are we now? End of August, and she's come here to a World Championships and earned her country a quota. Didn't win the medal, but it's just, I'm just in awe of what elite athletes can do. It's quite remarkable. Right, now we are going to turn our attention to the first of our Olympic qualifiers for today. It's the K2 Men's 500. This is a new event. Of course, it was the K2 1000 in Tokyo. The distance has been reduced now to 500 metres. Part of the reason being because 200 metres is no longer on the calendar, unfortunately. But we're hoping, and I think we've seen that a lot of 200 metre paddlers are now stepping up and doing the K2 500 and also the K4 500. So we're going to see some out-and-out sprinters in this field, teamed up with some guys who can go all day. And we are going to see the reigning world champions from Hungary, Bence Nadas and Balint Kopás. Balint Kopás, of course, the 1,000 metre gold medalist from Tokyo. And right next to them in lane 8, we'll see the Australians, Jean van der Westhausen and Thomas Green, who are the K2 1,000 metre gold medalists from Tokyo as well. They've dropped back to 500 metres. They've rarely, if ever, finished off a podium since coming back to the 500, but they've not won. So they're looking for a breakthrough win here at the World Titles. But gee, it's a strong field though, Emma, I've got to say. We've got the Lithuanians who are like runaway trains.
And the Germans will have the home crowd screaming at them.
The German fans have turned out. They're desperate. They've only had the one big gold medal, and that was in the men's K4 the other day. They desperately want to see a gold medal today, and I'm sure that Felix Frank and Martin Hiller will have the crowd right behind them. We know that the Portuguese, Ribeiro and Baptista, are also fast, and the Spaniards, you just cannot rule them out. It's a really, really good field. It's hard to... You would think the Hungarians will start favourites. They are the defending world champions. But don't discount the Australians and don't discount the Lithuanians. And it really is a good opportunity for us today to have a look at this field and see these athletes and get a bit of a sneak preview of what could be an exciting Olympic event in 12 months' time.
Absolutely, and quite interesting to see. You know, the difference in training will be huge. Training for 1,000 as opposed to a 500. So I'm really interested to see how they've adapted their training regimes and changed their whole race delivery, because just the strategy over 500 is clearly very different to over 1,000, and then again for the 200 like we've seen earlier this morning. So really interesting from an athlete perspective to think how they've had to change not just their training but maybe their strength ratios and the actual work that they're doing to be more sprinting.
There's a couple of real out-and-out 1,000-metre paddlers here. Kopás from Hungary, Green from Australia, two of them who are out-and-out distance paddlers. You shouldn't discount the Canadians, of course. Poulin and McTavish, they had a great World Cup the year before last in Poznan. They had a fantastic World Cup result, so they will go fast. Spicer and Havel from the Czech Republic looked good in their heat, in their semi-final. Del Rio and Rodrigo Jumaid from Spain in lane 3. In lane 4, let's just stick here with Spicer and Havel. They've been in combination for quite a while now, so they know each other very, very well. And I think that counts a lot when you're consistently in a boat with the same person and you know their strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely, and I think an interesting fact that people at home may know or may not know is that you have to wear identical kit if you're in a crew boat. So I only found that out, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I only found that out, I think, last year, that it has to be really, really identical, from the underlayers to the vests, even to headwear or not headwear.
Well, it's funny you mention that. I remember in the K2 mixed when for the Portuguese, because Fernando Pimenta always races with a hat, and he was racing with, I think it was Teresa Portela, and she refused to wear a hat. She said, no, I'm not wearing a hat. So Pimenta had to take his hat off, and he had to race bald-headed. He was not happy about it, but they won. Now, speaking of Portugal, they are the Portuguese. Expect them to go very fast. Expect them to be challenging for the lead at some stage during the race. Ribeiro and Baptista.
Wow, they look strong.
Don't they? Possibly your favourites, I think, Bence Nadas and Balint Kopás. Nadas was in the K4, of course, as well. They were really strong. And the Australians, Van der Westhausen and Green. Not sure about their hats.
I'm not sure about their hats. They don't look terribly aerodynamic, but I'm sure they've worked it out and they're confident.
Yep.
It's quite often it's about feeling good. It's about knowing that you're feeling good and you can do it.
And Holpert and Dragicevic from Serbia in the outside lane, lane 9. Now, this is an Olympic event, folks. 6 boats. 6 boats here will earn quotas for Paris next year. Now, it might not necessarily be the top 6 boats. It will all depend, obviously, on who was in the K4s, who's in K1s that have already earned quotas. It all becomes a little bit messy, but
There's a lot on the line.
Yeah, there is a lot on the line, and really the first thing you want to do is finish top 6 to give yourself a chance. So right next to each other, lanes 7 and 8 is Hungary and Australia. Watch out for the Lithuanians, watch out for the Portuguese, and watch out for the Germans. It really is a very even race. I was asking around before the race for people to tell me who would win. Nobody could tell me with any confidence who will win this race. So we're underway now, and a very good start from the Lithuanians. They really flew out there in the middle of the field. So that is Maldonis and Olejnik. They are part of the K4 as well for Lithuania that qualified a quota. So they are racing out now for the early lead. The Germans trying to go hard with them. The Australians just dropping back a little bit, trying to pick up a bit of pace in the back half of the race. This is a 500-metre race, don't forget. So pretty even now. At the top of the screen in lane 3, it looks like the Spaniards maybe have got a little bit of an advantage over the Portuguese now, and the Lithuanians are still there. So it is Spain in front. That is Del Rio and Jumad. Sitting in second position, very close indeed. The Portuguese looking strong. It looks like the Hungarians are also now coming through, Nadas and Copes. But Del Rio and Jumad are in front at the moment from Spain. Let's get back onto the race. We need to see the race. There we go. It is coming across. It looks like the Hungarians now who are slipping into the lead. Right next to them, though, it's the Portuguese. It's Hungary, Portugal, and it looks like Spain as well, but it's the Hungarians and the Portuguese. Look at the Portuguese pair go. They are digging deep. This is Ribeiro and Baptista. This will be a big result for Portugal. Spain is hanging on. The Germans are coming through as well. You can hear the crowd getting behind them, but at the moment it looks like it's Portugal holding on. They think they're going to get the gold. The Hungarians flying. Portugal first. Hungary second. Oh, did the Czechs fly and get third?
I think Australia came back as well for a close finish.
What a finish, but the Portuguese, look at what that means to them.
We said they looked good on the start line, didn't we? We said they looked strong and focused, and what a run.
They have held off the world champions. The race for third, incredibly close, but no doubt at all about the winner. The team
it might be a photo.
It's going to be very close. The Spaniards were there, the Australians, you said, were there. The Czechs flew home as well. It looks like Spain might have got the bronze, which is a pretty good result. They held on. They were out there in the lead early on. It looks like they might have held on for the bronze, but the gold medal will go to Portugal. And that is a great result for Portugal. For so long, Portugal has been all... You can see... Look at that, Emma. Look at the emotion. Look what that means.
And I'm welling up just watching that, because you know what it's like being on the water, all the hard work. This could have been years in the making of them to get this world title.
Wow.
And look at the emotion there.
Just look at that.
That's the power of sport right there, Ross.
Don't tell me sport doesn't mean anything to people, because there are enough tears. I mean, I don't know what the flood levels are like on this river, but those blokes are filling it up right now with bucket loads of tears. Amazing. And it's good on them. And, for so long, Portuguese canoe sprint has been all about Fernando Pimenta. That's all we've heard about, and rightly so, because the man is a legend. But these two young men have just had the race of their lives. They are world champions. They have a quota for Paris next year. Let's have a look how close this is. So Portugal holding on. Ooh, gee, the Spaniards, look at the top there. Czechs flew home as well. Not a lot in it. And all credit to the Hungarians. They really did put it all on the line. But the Portuguese pairing of Ribeiro and Baptista.
A tenth of a second between third and fourth as well. It's just amazing, the fine margins between medals, no medals, but hopefully quota spots for those top 6.
So, so Portugal, Hungary, Spain, Australia, the Czechs and Germany. They are your top 6. The Germans not quite. Interestingly, Lithuania finishing 7th. I thought they might have been a bit more forward than that, but not today. They were challenging earlier but fell off. I just can't get over the emotion here. I hope we're going to see and hear what this means to these two.
Still crying, so I think
of course,
It's
not going to take those sunglasses off, that's for sure.
And the thing is, you're so exhausted at this point as well. To try and hold anything in is just impossible.
Look at that. Good on you, chaps. Fantastic result. There's 10 years age difference between these two paddlers. Ribeiro is born in 89, Baptista in 1999, so 10 years age difference. That's Ribeiro there, 7.49.
The Portuguese, Ribeiro and Batista, the new world champion. Very emotional win. Tell me that.
This year we were always very close, very tough races. Today we saw the back wind, we were fast and we managed to finish first. It's a very good feeling. This year we will always this close to the medal or this close to winning, but today it all makes sense.
Joao, you've been around for a while. You're back on the top. It means a lot for you.
Yeah, my children is in the hospital. And very difficult to compete this weekend, but it's okay. I'm world champion, and I give you the medal for my children.
Good luck for you, and congratulations to both of you. Portugal world champion.
Wow. It all makes sense now, doesn't it?
And that's the amazing thing is you don't ever know what someone's got going on outside of that 200-meter or 500-meter race. And there's sometimes so many things that people are having to deal with as well. And to be able to deliver like that when you've got that sort of pressure and emotion, amazing.
I mean, sometimes, Emma, you've been there, sometimes it inspires you to work harder, to push yourself through that pain barrier because you know there's someone else in your life or someone that is facing a bigger challenge than you're facing, and compared to what they're going through, you know, you're out there on the water just trying to paddle. You lift yourself to a whole new level.
Yeah, I can remember in the run-up to Rio, unfortunately my baby niece passed away, and I've really used the canoeing as a way to give the family something positive. Even though it's just canoeing, it was a real drive and a real motivator for me to be doing something that everyone could take some positivity from. So emotional times.
Well, we're over the moon for the Portuguese, and good luck to Joao and his family. I'm sure if they're watching, they'll be super, super happy to see Dad there with a gold medal and a world title. He'll be home very, very soon to share that moment with you, I'm sure. So let's now move on to our next Olympic qualifying event, is the C2 Men's 500. Now, there are actually 8 quotas available in this race for the C2 men, and there's 9 in the field, so really you just don't want to finish last.
No, don't.
There are a couple of athletes here who already have quotas. For example, Martin Fuchser is here, C1 1000 world champion. Now, I have to tell you, I was told by the German paddlers that 90% of the German crowd here they've come here to watch Tim Hecker, apparently. He has a big fan club. A lot of the flags that are being flown have Tim Hecker's face on them.
Oh, is it his face? I've been wondering all week whose face it is.
This is what I was told. They are the Tim Hecker fan club.
So we're talking giant flag. If people haven't seen it at home, it is huge. And we've been looking at it from the other side of the course all week thinking, whose face is that? And now we know.
Yeah, so just imagine if the Germans pick up a medal here, the roof could get blown off this grandstand.
It could. I saw them literally about 8 o'clock this morning. They were already here with musical instruments and beers and the flags, so they've been ready for a while. There they are.
There they are, the Tim Hecker fan club. They're ready to rumble. They are ready to rumble, and he has an Olympic gold medalist sitting in the front of the boat with him, so that's not a bad guy to be steering you down the course. Peter Kretschmer and Tim Hecker, but this is a really, really good field. I mentioned Martin Fuchser with his brother Peter. The Spaniards will probably be favourites. Garcia and Martinez, they've been very consistent. Watch out for the Romanians. Watch out for the Italians in lane 9 on the extreme outside of the course. And the Romanians were very good in the semi-final. But we are underway, and I'm expecting a lot of noise here as the Germans, Kretschmer and Hecker, take it out to the Spaniards, Garcia and Martinez. Will it be a race in 2? Could the Poles upset them? The Polish crew is very strong. Patecki and Zazula. you can hear already. There they are, the Hecker, the Tim Hecker fan club. They're trying to get their man over the line for a medal. And at this stage, it looks like in the middle of the course, it's the Romanians who've gone out the fastest. The Spaniards on their right, and next to them it's the Germans. But the Romanians in front, the Spaniards there with them. The Germans are challenging. Now this will, I tell you what, if they're anywhere near the front when they get in front of the grandstand, that will lift them over the line. It is Kretschmer and Hecker in front, and the crowd have just seen it come up on the scoreboard. They've seen that their man is in front. The Spaniards will be the ones that will offer the big challenge here. It is Hecker and Kretschmer. The Romanians trying to hold on. Next to the Germans, it's the Poles as well, but it's Kretschmer and Hecker. Listen to that crowd. They are really getting behind their man here. This is an Olympic event, folks. Peter Kretschmer, Tim Hecker from Germany. The crowd even getting louder now. They can see the paddlers going past them in front of them now as they head towards the finish line. They're putting distance between themselves and the rest of the field. Peter Kretschmer and Tim Hecker. The roof is coming off the grandstand. Kretschmer and Hecker are going to take gold. The Chinese coming through for the silver. Big finish for the Chinese, and maybe the Spaniards got the bronze. But listen to that crowd, folks.
Wow, what a noise. What an incredible finish. I think I was worried that they were going to die, and Spain had such a strong finish in the women's. I wondered if the men crew had the same, but wow, what a finish.
We'll just take a moment to listen to this celebration. Oh.
There's going to be some excited crowd when he gets over this side.
They've been here all week. They've been here all week, these fans. They've been waiting for their man, and he's hit. Cometh the moment, cometh the man. Tim Hecker, world champion. He's slotted away that Olympic qualifier as well. And for Peter Kretschmer, a moment for him. He was in London, gold medalist in London. He's been paddling for a long, long time, Peter Kretschmer. It's always been a tough gig in the German canoe team. He's had Konrad Schieber, he's had Sebastian Brendel, all barking around on his heels trying to get into that team. So I'm sure that he will be incredibly satisfied with that result today.
It's quite an impressive feat to climb back into your boat as well at the end of 500 metres.
There's a bit of a problem here with the official result, because it's just come up that the Chinese have won, but there's absolutely no way. Now it's confirmed. Germany first, China second. That was a big finish from the Chinese crew, and the Spaniards held on for the bronze. Good result for France. They'll be very happy. They've locked away some quotas. It's been a very grim week for the French canoe sprint team.
And also only 100th off her podium, so strong finish for them.
Yeah, well done to Lockie Leonard and Adrian Bart. But it's all about the Germans.
Who are now on the photographer's pontoon. I'm not quite sure.
Well, we're not going to hear them down here. I hope they get here to the crowd, but I'm not sure what they're doing over there, where the crowd want to see them. Look at that there, the distance between third, though, Emma. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's inches, isn't it? It's just incredible to see. You think about the work that's gone in over all of the year, and it comes down to centimetres or even maybe millimetres.
Yeah, fantastic race. Talk about a home crowd advantage and what it can do for you. Look at that, folks. That is your Tim Hecker fan club.
I think I want a fan club like this. Look at
You've got a fan club like that.
It.
You have a fan club like that.
We need some giant flags. I don't know what they're doing on that pontoon over there, but
no, they were told to go to the pontoon after the race. I think they got the wrong pontoon.
It's really interesting, because before you race, you're always told, go to, if you're a medalist, go here, go here.
Yeah.
But you never want to think about it. So you don't actually probably listen very carefully to those instructions.
Nobody has ever told any athlete to go to the photographer's pontoon.
You're right. I'm not sure why they're over there.
So,
and now their boat's being taken.
Now their boat's being taken, and they've been left marooned.
So they're going to have to swim across to the celebration pontoon.
Yeah. Well, what it probably means is we might not get to hear from them, unfortunately. Let's just check. The next race is due in 4 minutes from now, so we might not get to look at them. They're saying, oh, how are we getting... Can someone come and get us, please? At least the photographers can get a good pic.
Yeah.
There's confirmation there. Kretschmer and Hecker.
Quite a
Gold
good
medal.
big margin to win by as well.
Big margin, yeah.
I think the lifeboat's going to pick them up, so they're going to. The lifeboat's picking them up and taking them to the pontoon.
Now they're singing Sweet Caroline, which just seems to be a standard at every sporting event around the world now.
Absolutely.
Spaniards happy to hold on for the bronze. I think they would be a little bit disappointed. I think they were expecting the gold, but in front of the home crowd, here they go. They're on the boat. They're bringing
So interesting, that home crowd support. Does it add something extra? Because you'd think, looking at other sports like football and rugby, it quite clearly does. So
but I always ask athletes when they're competing at home, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Because there's extra pressure. I was talking to Katie Vincent last year in Halifax. I said, is it a good thing or a bad thing? She says, look, mostly it's good.
Yeah, I think mostly it's good. I think if you let it get into your head, then it can be extra pressure. But I think if you've got a supportive lot around you, that's the main thing. But certainly that was a lot of noise to spur them on, and it clearly worked, because that was a storming run.
Well, it's just...
they've got all their T-shirts off in the crowd.
They have. Thank goodness for that. I just love seeing half-naked German men.
It's not even that warm, actually, Ross, is it?
It's not warm at all. Okay, are we going to hear from these boys or what? There we go. It's going to be a bit tight between this and the start of the next race. They're now Tim Hecker doing a bit of a dance. Tim Hecker's doing a dance on the celebration pontoon. I'm hoping we can cross down just very quickly to hear from Tim Hecker and Peter Kretschmer, but we might run out of time. It's going to be very tight. Now, unfortunately, we've run out of time, I think, but we will try and bring you an interview later on.
Well, it's exhausting, Ross, this, isn't it? We're just
Seriously, it is exhausting. Imagine if the race was close. And I should mention just quickly, because I did say the top 8 get quotas. 9th in that race was Poland.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, they missed out on the K4 quota as well.
Oh, they did.
Last in the men's K4.
So unless there's any handback, but maybe there won't be handbacks, will there?
Well, there are some, as I mentioned, Martin Fuchs was in the K4. Who else is in there? I can see. He might be down to one. And sorry, not the K4, the C1. All right. Now, we could actually have here back-to-back German gold medals. As they say, what's the old saying, Emma? You'd know it. It's like a London bus. You wait forever for one to come along, and then
2 come at once.
And then 2 come at once. And it could be that here for the Germans. They've waited for a long time for a gold medal, and they've just got one. Could they have another world champion here? Because Paulina Pasak and Jules Hake are probably the favourites. They'll have a good contest, though, with the Poles, Martina Klatt and Helena Wisniewska. 6 boats. 6 boats will go through from this race to... You can hear some cheering just because the boys are now down parading in front of the German crowd. I'm hoping we might be able to come to them after this race, but we're underway now in the women's K2 500. It is an Olympic event. Watch for the Germans in the middle of the field, lane 4. Right next to them from Poland, Klatt and Wisniewska. Also very, very powerful boat. Peters and Brock, they were at the Olympics in Tokyo, and the Danes, Emma Jorgensen and Frederica Matchison, have been getting better every time they've got on the water. But there is Pasak and Hake from Germany. They were very relaxed earlier on in the week, feeling very confident about racing home here in their home crowd. They're in lane 4, so they're back a little bit at the moment. So they've got a bit of work to do, because on their inside it's the Danes. Jorgensen and Matteson have gone out the fastest. Now the Germans getting into their rhythm, and the Poles as well. In fact, at the halfway stage, it looks like Poland just ahead of Denmark. So it's Klatt and Wisniewska from Poland ahead of Jorgensen and Matteson from Denmark. In the middle, it's Pasak, and Hake from Germany. So the crowd will start to erupt now. They're in good spirit, but the Germans have got a lot of work to do if they're going to win this one, because the Poles are going out even harder now in the back half of this race. Martina Klatt, Helena Wisniewska, they already have a K4 qualified, and they're going to qualify the K2 as well. The Danes are now lifting as well. The Danes with Jorgensen in the front of the boat. She's a very experienced paddler. In fact, it looks like Denmark maybe just in front of Poland. So Denmark in front, Poland throwing everything at them, trying to reel them in. But Emma Jorgensen, Frederica Madison, this is your day. This is your world title. Denmark gold, Poland silver, and Germany take the bronze. What a great result for the Danes.
What a race to see the lead change so many times. It's just phenomenal.
Poles went out really, really hard, but the benefit, Emma Weeks, of having an experienced paddler in the front of the boat like Emma Jorgensen.
Yeah.
She knows how to time a race. She knows not to panic. She knows not to get flustered by what everyone else is doing. And she kept her nerve, and in the end, coming in over the top there, a great result for, and just fantastic for Emma Jorgensen. She's just such a great paddler and has been there for so long, always chasing Lisa Carrington home in the individual races.
Certainly been around for all of my career, and just so right, that experience, that calmness under pressure, to stick to your race plan and not get carried away by what someone else might be doing, is actually a real skill. You know, I think people watching think it's just A to B as fast as you can, but there is real skill in being able to stay calm and deliver your technique. As soon as you tighten up, then the technique goes, the timing goes in the crew boats, and your speed goes with it. So it's a losing battle if you tighten up. So calmness and professionalism like that is just amazing.
So Germany getting, I'm not sure what Emma said there, but she's pretty happy about it. Pretty happy. Silver going to, just confirmation, silver going to a very brave Polish team, Martina Klatt and Helena Wisniewska, and another medal for the Germans with Pazek and Haidt taking the bronze. Belgium, Peters and Brock finishing fourth. The French pick up another quota. They'd be very happy with that, because all of a sudden things are looking a lot better for them next year in Paris. And great to see Manon Hostens there getting that quota. She's been paddling for some time now. Fantastic athlete, fantastic freestyle. What's going on here?
The crowd are they're out the stand. And
this is still the Tim Hecker, Peter Kretschmer sideshow here. He's going to get covered in beer in a moment. Well, let's not let that distract us, though, from these world champions, because they've worked hard. They've worked very, very hard.
It's a real moment, isn't it? You know, it's goosebumps to realise that you're a world champion, and that everything, all that hard work over the months has really paid off. And it's lovely to be able to have the celebration pontoon where people can have their moment.
You can see the emotion there. Frederica is just, by the way, she's only 23, so what a great experience for her to be paddling alongside Emma Jorgensen.
Wow.
Learning from the best.
Bright future ahead of her.
Emma Jorgensen getting into the German celebrations.
I don't even know what to say. This is amazing, and
everything just went as we had planned, like talked about with our coach, and it was just working perfectly out there.
Yeah.
Emma, you've been medalist in bronze and silver in Olympic Games. Now you're sending a strong message for Paris.
Yes, there's still a lot of hard work to do. There's still, 11 months or something. So we'll keep on fighting and working hard. This is a strong team out there of really good athletes, so they will not lay down now, and neither would we, so we are ready for a fight.
Congratulations, Denmark, new world champion.
Yes, congratulations to Emma Jorgensen and Frederica Matchison. They've only come together, Emma, not that long ago, the last year or so. Look at this. Tim Hecker. Wow. He's living the dream at the moment. He is living like a rock star. Look at that. Look at that poster right there. That's the flag we were talking about, folks, with the Tim Hecker mugshot.
Oh, here they are.
Here we go. We're going to hear from the boys. No, I'm not sure. I can't see them down there on the... I think that's with German television. I think they might be with German television. Unfortunately, I don't think
they look happy though.
They do look happy. Yeah.
And amazing to be able to share it with the family and friends that have supported along the way. And so great to see another nation on the top of the podium with Denmark. I think there's 91 nations here this week, which I'm not sure about that, but I feel that that's the biggest number we've ever had. So it's always a more popular competition pre-Olympic and Paralympic Games, but fantastic to see so many nations from across the world doing our amazing, beautiful sport.
And we should talk about, we've been talking about quotas here, which is, let's be honest about it, that's what a lot of this is all about. This is not the last chance saloon. That's still to come for both Olympics and Paralympics. A lot of countries will now go back and compete in their continental championships where there are quotas available. And for the para-athletes, of course, you've got your World Championships in Szeged next year when there will also be some quotas available.
Yeah, so we have a World Championships at a World Cup in a Paralympic Games year. So we will have another 4 spots available in each of the classifications next May. So we go again. You know, there's every time we've been to a Games as a GB team, we've had to use the second round qualification to get all of our spots. So absolutely nothing wrong with going to that and getting your spots there. You know, 40% of the field will come from that second round. So there's a lot of work to do over this winter, and it makes me feel like I don't want 3 weeks off now, Ross. I want to get back into it straight away. But
well, you do that, Emma. You're the person who can do that. Don't take a holiday. No time for holidays. No time for a break. Now, let's look here at our next event, of course. This is the C4 Women's 500 metres. This is not an Olympic sport, but you can expect some pretty solid racing here. The Canadians, Sophia Jensen, you saw her at the front of the boat. She will be joining us in the commentary this afternoon, in fact, for the women's 5,000 metres. And I told her at breakfast this morning she could go hard in this race, but leave some petrol in the tank because I don't want you to be tired during the commentary. Kazakhstan, the Germans are here, Moldova are here as well. The Chinese, you would expect, I mean, Emma, let's be honest about it, the Chinese have dominated all the women's canoe races.
They have. It's quite phenomenal to see how they, you know, they just turn up and particularly dominate in this year before a Games. But they're very, very strong, aren't they, across all of them? Yeah. I love seeing the C4. It's just, again, really mind-blowing to see how they control the balance when they're all going flat out on different sides of the boat.
Yeah, it really, really are. So I'm not sure what the logic is behind where you put the athletes in terms of the left-sided paddlers and the right-sided paddlers, but each to their own, I'm sure. But we are underway, and it looks like in lane 5, it is the crew from China, as you would expect, who got out the quickest in the middle of the field. There they are, and right next to China, it's the crew from Canada going alongside. In lane 7, it's the crew from... or lane 8, sorry, it's the crew from Germany as well. And when the German fans get over their adoration for Tim Hecker and look up on the screen and they see that their C4 women are in the run for a medal, they'll get loud, I'm sure. But the Chinese, as you would expect, going out and setting the early pace here. They are a quality combination. The depth is so deep in the women's canoe program in China. It is China in front. A bit of a race for second between Canada and Germany, and Hungary over there in lane 2 also very close. Pregato and Naive were in the C2 together, so there's a bit of experience in that boat as well. But the Chinese at the moment looking pretty comfortable in front. The Canadians trying to latch on to the back of the Chinese, but the Chinese looking very controlled at the moment. Maybe the Canadians starting to pick up a little bit of ground on them, and the Germans are coming through now as well. In fact, Germany have moved into second. So listen to the crowd getting behind the Germans. Surely not another German gold medal. The roof can't stand it here on the grandstand. It's China in front. Germany racing for second. The Canadians coming through as well, though. It's China in front. Germany throwing everything at them, but China will hold on and take the gold. Germany second, Canada third, Hungary fourth. Brave race there from the Germans. Don't worry about that. As long as you get over the line. So the C4 is finished as a C3. But no doubt at all about our winners there. I think that Hades looked around and gone, oh, we've lost someone. Where did we lose her? She's back there hanging on to the...
Luckily they had crossed the line for sure, so I think
yeah.
I met the Chinese C4 on the warm-up lane earlier this week, and they were motoring.
Yeah.
And the amount of wash that kicks off that boat is quite spectacular. So I thought they might do quite well, and they've got the gold.
What's the water temperature out there, Emma?
So when we arrived at the beginning of the week, it was around 16, but it has gone up gradually over the week. I think the rain that we had on Friday maybe dropped it slightly, but I think it's around 18, 19 now. So.
And what is has there been some science done on what is the ideal temperature for a paddler for you to reach your optimum speeds and your optimum comfort? Is there an ideal temperature for the water?
So I think, when we've had water around 26 in Szeged, for example, there were some really good times there. I think what we've always been told is a 10-degree shift in water temperature can give you about a second over 500 meters. So it does make a big difference to the speed of the boats. For us, from Great Britain, we train in cold water all year and then come to hot water. So it's quite nice to feel that difference. And you certainly do feel like you go better abroad. But I would imagine, something around the 24, 26 degrees would, with a nice tailwind like we've got today, these are fast conditions, will hopefully give the fastest times. Plovdiv in Bulgaria is always a course for fast times.
Because the water's so warm.
Because the water's so warm, and we think it's magic water as well. So.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't get to Plovdiv enough. We haven't had an event there for ages. We've got to get back there soon.
No, it was 2017, wasn't it? But it was certainly magic water then.
Yep. So congratulations to China, another gold medal in the women's canoe. There's Lisa Yarn at the front of the boat who decided to take a swim. The girls thinking, well, thank you very much. Now we have to do all the hard work, get the boat back. We'll pay for that later.
I bet it's a bit of a shock, though, even though his water's not cold.
She looks cold.
She
looked like she was in a bit of shock there about just how cold it was. So confirmation there, China, Germany and Canada filling up. Isn't it? I love seeing results when you see different continents filling the medals. Look at that. You've got Asia, you've got Europe, and you've got North America filling the top 3 spots.
I think that's one thing I love about our sport in particular, is that breadth of diversity across the globe. And we've seen it in the Paracanoe, and we've seen it this morning on the Olympic side. It's just a most amazing, inclusive, diverse sport.
And we saw earlier this week, I think a bit of history was made, Emma. I think the first African qualifier in Paracanoe, first quota for an African athlete.
Was it for Algeria?
Algeria, yeah.
So we were training with Brahim, who's the athlete that got the bronze when we went to Szeged. Such a lovely guy, and I think as an honorary Brit we made him. So we're really chuffed that he managed to get that quota spot. But again, it's groundbreaking to see these nations develop, and certainly for me as an athlete that's been around for a while, it's just amazing to see that development and to see the nations really progress. Brazil have got a team of 20 in Paracanoe.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Which is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the Chinese have done here. There's been a breakdown in translation somewhere. They were told to go to the celebration pontoon, and somehow they thought it meant let's go to the long grass at the end of the course.
And they've lost an athlete.
And when they got there, they were surprised to find there was nobody there. There was no welcoming ceremony. There's no one interviewing. And now they've turned around, they've realised that an athlete has gone. So now they are a C3. They'll get it sorted shortly.
And they'll have to be going to boat control as well.
So they must be stuck in something there because they can't seem to go forward. They must be, so I don't know what's going on there. There's a bit of laughter going on the pontoon, but I don't know if there's much laughter amongst the athletes.
Here they come.
Yes. Well, they're coming finally in now to talk to our hard-working deckside interviewer. Here he is, he's ready, he's been practicing his Chinese all week. Every time he goes to speak to them in Chinese, they answer him in English, so he's been quite frustrated that he hasn't had more of a chance.
Look at the lactic acid in their legs.
There's a bit of wobbly boot.
Yeah.
There's a bit of wobbly boot going on there, I've got to say. I'm not sure any of them have got any breath to be able to speak, but let's have a listen to our world champions in the women's C4 500.
China is a new world champion in C4 women. What do you have to say to your fan?
就是这场比赛，就是我很感谢我后面的3个动力桨手，然后有他们在我非常的安心，然后感谢大家。
Yeah, I should just say thank you for the fans in the Duisburg, and I just really appreciate all my teammates behind me, and this is definitely exciting. Thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations, China, world champion.
Yep, congratulations to China. And we do have a very big audience watching in China, so I'm sure they'll be, well, you can see there's definitely, I would imagine it's not the most comfortable position to be in when you're in a canoe, so I'm not surprised that a few of them have got sore knees and sore thighs, and they have the wobbly boot on.
They did, didn't they? I've never seen that before. That's quite interesting to see that. I mean, it's obviously the lactic acid that's built up over the course of the race, and that's really interesting to see that level of exertion.
So we're getting towards the tail end of our coverage for this morning. Don't forget, this afternoon we will bring you the 5,000 metre races, and that they are going to be super exciting. We've got some great racing coming your way. We've got a couple of the best canoe marathon, or the best marathon athletes in the world, who are stepping out for the 5,000 metre events this afternoon. It'll be a really interesting race again, but before that we have two mixed races coming your way. The athletes have been loving this. They've been loving the chance to get out there and have an extra race, and to mix up the boats, have a man and a woman in a boat together. And we've seen some really interesting races since this sport has been, since this race has been introduced. Just looking there at it's still going on, Emma, the Heka Kretschmer celebrations.
It is. It's going to be a long night of partying, I think.
Oh my God.
And these mixed crews are really interesting. I think, I'm hoping that Paracanoe will develop as well, and maybe bring in some crew boats, because I think it lends itself really well to doing maybe a male from one classification and a female from another. So hopefully we can see how these events are progressing, and
even
hope that's a development.
Even just K2, I mean, I'm sure that the rest of the para-canoe world would be shuddering at the thought of a Henshaw Wiggs.
It would be good.
It would be good, all right. My goodness, it'll be that far in front of the rest of the field. But has there been any work done in that area? Has there been any trials done?
I think the athletes are keen. I think we've had conversations, and we reckon there'd be enough depth in a lot of the nations now to be able to make it viable. So it's something as a British squad that we're looking to try and influence, and maybe try and get a demonstration event at some point in the next couple of years. It's difficult when there's a games year, because obviously everyone's focus is very different. But certainly, before the end of my career, I'd like to be able to see some crew boats in Paracanoe. I think it would be a great development and a great spectacle.
Do you ever do any training in a K2? I suppose sometimes you might get out with your coach and do.
So I went out this year a couple of times with one of the coaches at Great Britain, not a para coach, but one of the Olympic coaches, and really enjoyed those sessions. Just used their ability to keep the boat stable to allow me to do some training at a higher pace. So it's something that I've really enjoyed. It's just my time is quite precious being split between the two boats. So I'm hoping I can do more of it, but we'll have to see whether we can fit it all in.
So here we go. This is the mixed C2. The best hair in Duisburg is there on display for you right now. Maybe not the best hair, but certainly the best hairstyle. Have a crack at that. That is Juliana Putnina from Ukraine. And in front there, Taras Kuzek. Some bloke called Sebastian Brendel. Oh my goodness, as if this crowd hasn't had enough to get excited about. Imagine if they were to win a gold medal here. Sebastian Brendel and Sophie Koch from Germany. Tell you what, there's some class athletes in there. There is Victor Glasnow and Sylwia Zubinska from Poland. Of course, Glasnow, a medalist already this week. Incredibly exciting paddler. The Chinese, Yu Bin Yu and Yin Wan, well, could the Chinese team go back-to-back? Connor Fitzpatrick and Katie Vincent. We've already seen Katie on the water today. She's won a gold medal already. She could follow that up today. Daniel Santini at the back of that boat there. He's also been a gold medalist as well. In the front of the boat is Olympia. Best name in the business, Olympia Delagostina.
What a name.
Fantastic to see a mixed crew from Iran here. And there is the Hungarians, Takac and Hajdu. And on the outside lane from Colombia, we have Rodriguez Ramirez and Gomez Sanchez from Colombia. So
am I right in thinking that Wang has come out of this C4 and gone straight into the C2?
Now that makes sense.
Because she was missing from the C4, and I think she's got straight into this C2,
I think you're right, which is why there are only 3 athletes on the podium. I think you're right. Yes, she has. Wow. Good on her. That's a good effort. If she wins back-to-back here, it'll be something to behold. But we're underway now in the mixed C2, 500 metres. We have the Germans with Brendel and Koch, the Poles, Glasnow and Zabinska, the Chinese, of course, Yu and Wan, Fitzpatrick and Vincent from Canada, and the Italians as well, Dele Gostini and Santini. There are the medal prospects you would think, but at this stage it looks like it is Poland and Germany who are going out to take the early lead. There is your Polish crew of Glasnow and Zabinska in lane 3. Next to them, the Germans, Brendel and Koch. And across in the middle of the course, well, not surprised that the Chinese have fallen back a little bit, but the Canadians also, Fitzpatrick and Vincent, going out pretty fast. So Poland in the lead, Canada working hard into second position. A really good race for third. The Germans have fallen off a little bit. They'll have to work hard at the back half of this race to get into a medal position, because at the moment it is Poland and Canada who are going head to head. Some of the other athletes are falling well back, but it's Poland and Canada. There is nothing between them. With about 200 metres to go, it is Canada maybe just in front of Poland. Germany now moving into a third position, so a possible podium for Germany. But it is Poland and Canada. That's where the race is right now. Canada just in front. Poland lifting, but Canada fighting hard. And coming through, it looks like the Italians also lifting into the bronze medal position. But it's a big race here between Canada and Poland. It's going to go down to the line, but I think Canada will just get there. Poland second, and third place, maybe Italy, flew home to pip the Germans for the bronze medal.
What a finish. And again, so Katie Vincent's done a turnaround. So she's done her C1 and then she's turned around and come in C2. That's a phenomenal effort. You're pretty much good for nothing after a...
She is a machine, so Katie
What a
Vincent.
race.
She's one of these paddlers who just thrives on the work, I think. So a great result there for Canada. It's been a good day for Katie Vincent. 2 gold medals. That's not a bad day's work in anyone's language. It's just waiting now for confirmation, but definitely the Canadians taking the gold. Poland picked up the silver, and it looks like Italy just tipped out the Germans for third. Fantastic race. No medal there for Sebastian Brendel, unfortunately, but he did win a medal early in the week, which sent the crowd into raptures here. But there, Connor Fitzpatrick, I'm sure he's enjoyed the experience of paddling with Katie Vincent. You'd learn so much from paddling with somebody who's so experienced and just knows what it takes to win races, what it takes to prepare for a race. You just learn so much, even though I'm sure they probably don't do a lot of training together, but you just learn off the aura, don't you, Emma Wiggs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one thing that we've been really strong at as a team, you know, using the athletes that are, I won't say older, I'll say more experienced, and to try and help the youngsters coming through. And even now with our combined squad with the Olympic guys, I hope that, you know, some of the experience that we've had over the years can help them and help them develop. We've got a really young, exciting Olympic squad that I think in a few years will be really pushing on this world stage.
So congratulations to Canada, congratulations
What
Poland.
a race.
Yep, there is confirmation. Gee, not much between the third, fourth, and fifth, is there? That is very tight indeed.
And that's the fine margins, isn't
Yep.
it? You know, you can lay down your absolute best and just miss the podium by a fraction of a second. It's brutal. Sport's brutal.
So congratulations, Connor Fitzpatrick and Katie Vincent. Good day for Canada. Could they win more medals later on in the 5,000? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Canada is very much a powerhouse in canoe, both men and women. Certainly their women in the recent years has been quite phenomenal. And they've got some good youngsters coming through as well. Just watch this space with some of their young paddlers as well, who are going to make their mark in coming years. Let's have a listen now to Connor Fitzpatrick and Katie Vincent, world champions in the mixed C2 500.
Canada with Connor Fitzpatrick and Katie Vincent again. Congratulations, you defended your title. How does that feel?
It's really great. Katie raced C1 500 50 minutes before this, so it's a big test to her fitness and how good she really is. If you guys could see her on a day-to-day basis, it's unbelievable.
So Katie, how did you do to rest between the two races and win again a gold medal?
I didn't. I just stayed really hyped up. And Connor was telling me to calm down. I said no. So no, I think we just, we found each other today, connected really well. And yeah, I think I just, I wanted to do it for Connor, make sure he went home with some hardware.
Congratulations to Canada, world champion.
Yeah, I know how that conversation would have gone. Calm down. No, you calm down. You're too hyped up. You're hyped up.
Just amazing. What a performance to turn around in 50 minutes. Because it's a long paddle round, actually. It's about 1,000 meters to get round from where you get on, even to join the main race lake. So.
But then you have to do boat control. You have to do all that sort of nonsense.
Yeah, so I think
nonsense, of course.
So most athletes will be getting on 20, 25 minutes before their race. So she's really not had long to stay to calm down or to stay hyped up, but clearly staying hyped up works. So I'll make a note. I'll make a note of that.
Yep. I don't think she's doing the. Let's have a quick look. I'm just sneaking you across here.
She's not doing the 5,000.
She's not doing the 5,000 this afternoon, I don't.
Surely not.
She probably will. So I don't think she is. She's not in that. Now, our final medal event for the morning, and it is the mixed K2 500. And we have a British crew here competing. Zoe Clark and Phil Miles. Phil Miles won a junior, was it a junior and under 23 gold medal a couple of years ago? So
I think so. And a nice interesting fact, they're actually boyfriend-girlfriend. So
are they really?
It's a nice little crew there, and they work very well together.
Okay, so no room. I hope there's no argy-bargy going on there between them if it doesn't go to plan. The Chinese Wang and Chiang. The Spaniards, well, we saw Inigo Pena win a gold medal earlier on this week. So good to have him sitting at the back of the boat. Barbara Pardo at the front of the boat. Anna Lutz. Incredible record as a junior and under 23 paddler at the front of that boat. Mark Olpatsky, Leonard Rawlings and Jakob Schoff. Jakob Schoff, gold medalist in the K4 earlier this week. Says he's at the fittest he's ever been, so we'll see how he goes. And there are your defending champions, Alyssa Bull and Jackson Collins. Sarah Del Grata, just 18 years of age, sitting at the front of that boat for Italy, and behind her, Tommaso Freschi. Mia Medved from Slovenia with Rock Schmidt. And the Swedish combination of Julia Lagerstam and Theodore Orban in lane 9. So the Australians will start favourite. They are the defending champions. Alyssa Bull has won a gold already in the K1 1000. Jackson Collins, part of the, as was Alyssa Bull, the K4 crew to win quotas for Australia. But watch out for the Germans. Any boat with Jakob Schoff sitting at the back is going to go fast. You can see now he's having to race without a hat because, as you mentioned before, Emma, they've got to wear the same. And we're just seeing how wild now Jakob Schoff's hair is. He's gone for the laissez-faire. It doesn't really matter how it looks approach.
It's exciting to see so many youngsters, you know, in boats or on the start line to see the future, hopefully, of this as an event going forward.
By comparison, you see the Hungarian Mark Opetsky, very sensible hairstyle. We're underway, so let's watch in the middle of the field. The Australians, the Germans, the Hungarians, they're the big three in this. And let's see, the Germans are taking out nice and fast. They are in lane 5. Right next to them, it's the Australians, the defending champions, Alyssa Bull and Jackson Collins. They really want to win this race, but it's the Germans who have gone out the quickest. The crowd will get behind them in just a moment when they realise what's going on. The Hungarians sticking with them as well, but it's Germany in front. It is Rawlings and Schopp in the gold medal position. Now the Australians trying to pick up the pace and come through. Germany in front, Australia powering home though. You'd expect that with Jackson Collins and Alyssa Bull, two long-distance paddlers. Their back half of the race will be their strongest part. But Jakob Schoff is also a very experienced distance paddler. So, whoa, a line of 4 now across the field. We have Spain, we have Hungary, Germany, Australia, and Italy there as well. But it's the Australians just in front, maybe, of the Germans. Can the Germans lift? The Germans are lifting again. Germany just with their nose in front. Australia trying to hang on, but look at Germany go. The crowd is lifting the Germans. Lena Rawlings and Jakob Schoff just in front. The Australians trying to stick with them. Spain also at the top of the course. Australia lifting again. They want this title. They want to hold on to it. The Germans are trying to stay there. It's Germany in front. Australia lifting. Germany will get it. Germany just ahead of Australia. Spain take the bronze. Wow. Oh, my goodness. What a race. You can see Jakob Schoff there. The locks flowing in the breeze.
What an incredible race. And again, the power of the crowd spurring them on. You can see the Australians fighting the whole way. And again, maybe just getting slightly tense in those last sort of 30, 40 metres, but then they came back again. So what a race to finish on in terms of medal events.
Don't try and tell me that the mixed races don't mean anything. We had some athletes there who just put everything on the line, and you can see the emotion, what it actually means. They're pretty happy there, Lena Rollins and Jakob Schoff, to finish off this morning with that gold medal for the Germans. They've already had a lot to celebrate here. There's a little bit of the roof still left on here, but unfortunately that's just got blown off as well by the crowd. They really got amongst it. Congratulations, Germany. The Australians, well, they threw everything. You couldn't accuse them of not putting in. And the Spaniards holding on there to take the bronze. There wasn't much in it. There was not much in it as well. In fact, to see now times, Germany 133.033, Australia 133.179. Wow. So that is nail-biting. That is almost a little bit thicker than a coat of varnish. And the Spaniards taking the silver. Slovenia picking up fourth, flying home to take the fourth. So good result there for Slovenia. But well done to Germany. Hopefully, they haven't ended up on the photographer's pontoon as well, have they?
No, I can't see them at the minute, but they're... Yeah. I think they're at boat control coming round.
They're a bit recalcitrant, the German. They're a bit recalcitrant, the German athletes. They just go off and do their own thing.
Here they come now.
I hope we get to them before we finish. I think we've got about 2 minutes to go before we wrap up. So hopefully we'll get a very quick word from our gold medalists before we wrap up our coverage from today. I'm sure the crowd want to hear Lena Rollins and Jakob Schoff. Congratulating each other now. And now we'll hear some words of wisdom from our world champions. Got to put the hat on. Keep the hair under control. Thanks, Jakob.
Germany is world champion. Lena Rollins, Jakob Schoff. What do you want to say to your fan?
Thank you that you all be here and are cheering for us. Yeah, I think it's a really special moment for us, especially for me. It's my first world champion title, and it's a really great feeling to share this moment with Jakob. Thank you.
This race was very close. What was in your mind in the 200 last meters?
I think just pain and, of course, the passion to fight for Lena for the first world champion. And of course it was also for me a pretty emotional race. It's my fourth world champion, and yeah, I'm more than happy to this and this amazing crowd.
Congratulations to Germany, world champion.
Yeah, lovely way to finish off our coverage for this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. Wherever you're watching in the world, you can see the Germans finish off with another gold medal. Jakob Schoff almost getting himself in trouble there for pulling his partner out of the boat. But that is a great result there for Germany. And let's look at look at that leaderboard.
Look at that.
What do you think about that, Emma Weeks?
Well, as an Australian sitting next to me, I think that's got to be sort us out. That's made our morning. Look at that.
So Australia on top of the leaderboard at the moment, from the UK, Spain, Hungary, China, Italy, New Zealand, and the host Germany there in 8th position. Emma Weeks, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What a sport, what a morning, what a privilege. Thank you, Ross.
Incredible what we've seen today. We've seen some fantastic racing. It's been wonderful to see, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage wherever you're watching around the world. We'll be back this afternoon with coverage of the 5,000 minutes. I hope you can join us then from Duisburg. The weather is perfect. We'll have some great racing, I'm sure. But for now, from Duisburg, it's over and out from me, Ross Solly. See you soon.